Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem and Hawaii Pono'i, sung by Mr. Josh Tatofi.
Through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we walked, was so gallantly streaming, and the rockets wriggling, the bombs bursting in air, gave fruit to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Hawaii Pono'i Nana'i Komoi Kalani Ali Ke Ali Makualani e Kamehameha e Na kawa e pale me ka ihe makualani e kamehameha e na kawa e pale me ka ihe.
Welcome to the new 2017 season here at Hawaiian Tel Federal Credit Union Field at Aloha Stadium. My name is Mark DeLucchi alongside Michael Lee, and today we will be bringing you coverage of the Baldwin Bears against the St. Louis Crusaders. Mike, what do you have for our viewers to expect for this game?
Yeah, it's always an intriguing matchup whenever we have a preseason matchup between a Maui school, or any neighbor island school for that matter, and an Oahu school. But I mean, this is a very tall task for Baldwin, to say the least. This is going to be a very difficult game. St. Louis last week put a pretty good pounding on Waianae, who's projected to be pretty good in the All-A. So this is going to be a very tough match for Baldwin, but it's always a great experience to come here to Oahu, play in Aloha Stadium, and get the experience of playing such a great team.
Bishop Wicks with the kickoff. They'll be fielded about the 8-yard line, out to the 20.
And good start for Baldwin, as it seems like Aiden Elf was able to get the tackle there for the Bears.
Yeah, Keikohuna Kalave out there with a 14-yard return to about the 22. And so the St. Louis offense is going to get us started. Mike, tell us what to expect.
Well, mainly it's going to be the Trevor Cordero show, most likely. The UH commit stepping into huge shoes. We cannot overestimate the impact that Tua Tagovailoa had on this Crusader ball club last year. But this is Cordero's time to shine. He's a senior. He could be like a Marcus Mariota and be such a great senior without ever really seeing the field. So he has his opportunities to shine here. He'll get a okay test here, get to throw the ball a little bit around today, and we'll see what happens.
Baldwin showing press coverage on each side. Cordero back. Looking deep down the field, down the middle of the field, overthrows his receiver. It was Keikohuna Kalave, who was also on the return on the last play.
Got great protection by an offensive line there, just overthrew the ball, Cordero. But Cordero did really well last week against Waianae on the road in hostile conditions, which, as we see on the replay here, he just overthrew the ball here. But Cordero last week threw for 154 yards and a touchdown. Did throw an interception, but I expect him to challenge this Baldwin's defense, especially in the secondary, as Maui schools aren't used to seeing this kind of offense as much. As now Cordero passed the ball out to a St. Louis receiver, as that seems to have been number 42, or excuse me, I couldn't get eyes on that, but it seems like Cordero was able to move the sticks there, nice out route, and got a first down there.
Yeah, so I'll look to keep moving him again as we look at the Bank of Hawaii replay right here. Cordero back to back, looking left the whole way. His first receiver's open, hits him with the quick strike, moving the chains. So now on this St. Louis Crusaders 38-yard line in the shotgun. Blitz comes up the middle, still looking right. Again, no pressure from the Bears defense. It was tipped by two St. Louis receivers. It hit the hand of number 80, Kellyanne Brunn, and then I believe tipped off the hands of number 11, or Jonah.
And almost Tosh Keikohuna Kalave almost came up with the deflection there. As you see on the replay, Cordero rolled out a little bit to his right. Has plenty of time. This offensive line is giving him great protection so far. But just a ricochet, and Keikohuna Kalave was unable to come up with it there.
Baldwin brought a linebacker. Still no pressure. Again, they're bringing the middle linebacker again, but no pressure. Cordero deep down the field. No one on Keikohuna Kalave. Again, he's been targeted quite a bit here early, but down the seam, no one on him, and just overthrew from Cordero, as we'll see on the
replay here. If you look at Davian DeFrancia, must be very relieved that this ball was overthrown because he was beat. But yeah, so far Keikohuna Kalave seems to be one of the feature receivers here for the Crusaders. He's been finding the open receivers. Now it's up to Cordero to get him the ball.
Yep, he's now the second receiver on the near side. Is once again Cordero on the shotgun, running back to his right, steps right, moves up in the pocket, has space, instead throws it right down the middle of the field. Brought to the 41-yard line of the Bears by Jonah Panoke.
Jonah Panoke is a returning receiver and a University of Hawaii commit as well. So this might be a future connection here in Halawa, playing Mountain West games. As we see on the replay here, again, tons of time to throw the ball. This time he was able to find the very open receiver down right on the edge, and first down.
If you're Baldwin, you got to bring more pressure. It's your only chances to collapse the pocket on Cordero. Maybe he makes a bad pass. As you see again, they do bring the one linebacker, but it's not enough. Open in the flat is the fullback, who makes a couple juke moves to get a few more yards. And number 80, Kellyanne Brunn, is brought down at the 29-yard line, and that should be a first down.
Actually, I think that those jukes might have been a little bit of an accident. As you see here, I think he tripped a little bit, and then all of a sudden he was able to keep on his feet as he tripped a little bit trying to perform a juke move, but he was able to still elude a bunch of Baldwin defenders before the gang of Bears was able to catch up with him.
And again, going to the no huddle, you can see the Baldwin Bears defensive line clearly tired.
And this is a problem too, because they have half the roster about what St. Louis has, so numbers is a problem for the Bears.
Handoff up the middle to number 24, Kainalu Tumpa. The sophomore gets his first carry and gets a good 6 or 7 yards
and
there.
Again, runs are rare in the run and shoot offense, especially Cal League, but we see on the replay, these offensive linemen have done a great job so far in this game, opening up the holes, and he was able to get a crease right down the middle. And if it wasn't for the tackle of Kurt Nainoa Keahi, the captain for Baldwin, he might have been in the end zone.
Yeah, and you can just see from your screen the size difference. Cordero back again. The offensive line is such a huge advantage. So a wide open end zone pass, but again overthrows number 6, Zane Chang Holloway, for his first target of the game. And again, we've seen Cordero. He's had open receivers, but he's missed them, overthrowing quite a bit. These Baldwin Bears, the defense has a lot of holes. They're kind of sending 4 guys and running a zone, but not much is happening Cordero needs to complete these passes.
Yeah, I mean, especially if he's going to succeed at the next level, but I'm sure he just has a little bit of jitter. He's still getting used to starting. He's not used to starting.
That's a very good point.
So I'm sure by the time we get to state tournament, this will all be fixed.
St. Louis is probably the favorite in the state. Cordero back to us, 3rd and 5, and that should convert it. Again, goes out. Number 80, Bruin catches it again, does a little shimmy. I sense that's his favorite move.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to shimmy some Baldwin defenders here, but so far Baldwin's able to get it to about 3rd down, but on 3rd down they've had a 100% completion percentage here, as we see rolling out to his left. Textbook footwork, was able to get the ball right out to the flat, and 1st down.
Again, we got press coverage on both sides. Interesting call from Baldwin, and it's leaving receivers open gap as we see Cordero with a great throw and great catch to Roman Wilson. That's going to be the first of possibly many points today. The St. Louis Crusaders now lead 6-0.
Roman Wilson is kind of seen as a prospect on this team. He's only a sophomore, but he's already got an offer from the University of Hawaii, and more could come if he has a great year, especially when you have good quarterbacks like Cordero.
And let me tell you, great catch right there, great extension. We'll see on the first Hawaiian Bank replay. Right here again, Baldwin, interesting choice to go press coverage, and they've been attacking that. You see he gets into the seam. The safety wasn't able to help. But now on the extra point, Isaiah Tufaga will hold for the Crusaders. And the extra point is off the upright for Jacob Tobias. That's his first missed extra point of the year, right?
Yeah, it is. And he also made some clutch kicks in last year's state open final against Kahuku, but missed there. I'm sure he'll get back to it.
Yep, so 6-0 with 9:25 to go in this first quarter for the Crusaders. They are now going to kick off to the Bears. Michael, what do you expect to see here from the Bears offense?
It seems like watching practice a little bit, they're going to throw it a little bit, but they're going to mainly go a power set, I formation, maybe go to the pistol a little bit, kind of do a little bit of everything, because especially that their top 2 quarterbacks on the depth chart did not make the trip to Oahu today, so it's going to be a little bit harder for them going with their 3rd-string quarterback, essentially, to try to beat such a great team like the Crusaders, who has some studs on defense.
Yeah, and the other thing, I think, to keep in mind, not only is the 3rd-string quarterback is sort of in line to start, it's really unclear because there's only 3 quarterbacks on the roster, and the 3rd is La'Suega Stark, a 5'7" freshman. But it makes sense. You don't want to throw a freshman out there against St. Louis. So it appeared to us in practice. Now,
and you look at Baldwin this way, like this is a game that will really have any ramifications to them in regards to postseason. So this is great experience for some of these freshmen to get to play.
And Matthew Watkins, the backup kicker, takes that kickoff. It goes into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, so the Bears will start on their own 20. So it looks like, though, Samu Oto is going to be the starter for the Baldwins at QB.
Yeah, and this guy's really an all-around player for the Bears. I mean, when it seems like desperate times call for desperate measures, well, this guy, he can play defensive line, he can play offensive line, and he's a running back. Well, now add quarterback to that resume. This guy is just an all-around football player.
I imagine we're going to see them power it up quite a bit. We saw them lining up in the wishbone. Kainalu Lacknow, 5'11" receiver, likes to be their favorite target. He was actually lining up at tight end at times, running some quick out routes. So
I think one thing, if Baldwin wants to have a chance in this game, they have to be creative. They have to try to think outside the box, especially that their offense isn't at full strength today.
As the play clock gets to 5, we have an offensive lineman running out on the field late. Baldwin is able, 1 second, they just barely get it off. Toss goes out wide. Number 11, Bishop Wicks, who actually was the kicker to start the game, if you remember, gets about to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard, and it'll be 2nd and long.
And, you know, this is just representative that a lot of these neighbor island teams, what we see is doesn't matter if Lahaina Luna, Hilo, Baldwin, they all have to play both ways or many different positions. They have to be very versatile. This is like old school football and just a pitch out to the right, and he's able to gain maybe a yard.
Wicks, one of the players to watch in the scoring live preview for this season for Baldwin. So once again,
see, now they're switching out to an I formation. They were going with the pistol earlier. Now they're back down under center to the I.
So Odo under center. Hands it off to Wicks, who's met pretty quickly by the defensive line. St. Louis is still pushing the ball ends up actually in the hands of a Crusader. The question is, I believe they're going to call his forward momentum.
And you know, that looked like their St. Louis's absolute stud, Tui Teller with the tackle. This guy has offers from any school in the country, you name it. He probably doesn't offer them. Just see him. He comes up and just stuffs the runner. The runner had nowhere to go. When you have a defensive lineman of that caliber, a 5-star recruit according to 24/7 online, this guy is going somewhere.
And you'll see Isaiah Ferry come away with the ball for the Crusaders, but the referee's call, which I would agree with, Wicks' forward momentum was stopped, and so the play was dead, so there's no fumble on the play. So now 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. Out on the backfield, he's going to have to pass. Pressure comes quick. He tries to move up, And we might have a hold here, and he gets smashed as he tries to carry the St. Louis defensive line forward. We have a helmet off, number 49, Michael Malepeai.
And Malepeai was the one that was the initial wrap on the quarterback there, but he was almost able. But there's a flag here. Interesting to see what this penalty might be.
It could be holding, but it wasn't the area where we could have some pass interference, which might be an automatic first down or defensive holding.
Exactly.
But it's in the area sort of either holding. We'll see. If I'm St. Louis, if it's offensive holding, you decline it, right? Bring it to 4th down, and they'll punt.
Exactly.
Let's listen here.
Illegal formation on the offense. Less than 5 guys with legal lineman numbers. It's a 5-yard penalty.
So we're going to have to replay the down because it was a false start anyway, since that play shouldn't have gone off.
Illegal formation, I think, was the call. But they're still talking here.
That penalty is declined.
And the penalty is declined, yeah, as you'd expect here. So illegal formation, unlike false start, doesn't blow the play dead, but that's why the flag was blown
for one play for
so early.
Coming up.
So Baldwin's only able to get 2 or 3 yards on this drive, and now they'll have to punt.
Yep. So 4th and 6 on their own 24. It looks like
Kamoi Latu and Isaiah Tuvanga are back to return for the Crusaders while punting for the Baldwin Bears. It seems like that would be
Wicks again, I believe.
To Wicks, who's their all-around
Swiss
Army knife.
Special teams and running back. Catches it at his own 15, blocked. And that's going to be a touchdown for the Crusaders. Michael, we've seen this before. St. Louis was on the under end of it the last time we were here. I believe that was number 10, Makoa Close, the wide receiver coming in there, knocking it down, picking it up, and getting the easy 6 points for the Crusaders who are now up 12-0. And
yeah, just as the wind starts bellowing here in Halava, as we see here, just had no time. St. Louis was there right away, and that was just scooped up and dove in the end zone for a touchdown.
Yep, so now the extra point will come again. Tobias will try to correct the missed extra point on the last attempt. With 7:40 to go in the first quarter, it's already 12-0 St. Louis. Make it 13. So Michael, we can't say we didn't expect St. Louis to come out ahead. Again, St. Louis one of the favorites to be in the Open Division State title for all of the entire state. Baldwin Division One team looking to compete in there. So it's not necessarily unexpected, but what do you do if you're Baldwin? How do you regroup and go about attacking?
You just have to regroup. There's not much you can do right now except try to pound away, maybe try to pound the rock a little more. Obviously, when you have a guy like Fatu Tuitele on the line, it's a little hard to try to run the ball, but just try something. If you're Baldwin, especially at this point, you have nothing to lose in this game. This is just for the heck of it. So you might also try anything you have in your playbook and see what you can get. And also, this is just no matter really the result for Baldwin, this is a great experience to be able to come down to Aloha Stadium. If they do make the state final, they'll be back here. So they could be back here in Aloha Stadium later in the year. So just getting used to Aloha Stadium and playing a quality team, this can only help them in the future as long as too many injuries do not occur.
Yeah. So after Watkins kicked the last kickoff, Tobias, after making that extra point, will get to kick it off from his own 40-yard line.
And it looks like for the Bears, it'll be Keely Madrid back to receive this kickoff.
Trying to get good field position here. Tobias will try to boom it into the end zone. It looks like it should fall short, though. Madrid fields it at the 4-yard line, slips up, though, and he's going to get swarmed pretty quickly. Actually finds a hole and is able to get out to the 21.5-yard line before he's finally brought down. He had a swarm of Crusaders coming at him around the 10-yard line. The Crusader, number 12, Sheva Cordero, the quarterback, is in there on special teams, is celebrating a bit. Unless we have a number.
It's probably a number difficulty. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine you put your star quarterback on that kind of coverage. But yeah, it looks like he was tackled.
There's number 12 with the hit, but our roster, Jordan Botello. Yeah, there's 2 number 12s there.
Yeah, St. Louis will do a lot of double numbers here and there for offense and defense, so it gets a little confusing for us.
And you might not be able to see the sidelines from our camera, but just looking at it here, Baldwin has, from like about 10 yards, 15 yards, all their players, and then St. Louis's players are spread out from the 20.
St. Louis definitely has a big roster. A lot of teams in the state have numbers problems. St. Louis is not one of them by any means.
Tries to hand it off to Wicks, and he is swarmed. Doesn't even have time to really make a football move.
It looks like Michael Malepeai, again on the action, was able to be the first one to wrap up the Baldwin Bear there. But, yeah, it was another stuff by the St. Louis defense, and they're winning these battles in the trenches really easily right now and getting right into the backfield. Once he handed it off, absolutely no time.
Yep, that's a 3-yard loss, and so it'll be 2nd and 13. If it was me, you got to do more quick hit passes. I just think the defensive line is showing, which, again, not unexpected. You'll see on your camera how much bigger the defensive line and offensive lines of St. Louis are in comparison to Baldwin. But to me, what you got to do quick slants, quick hits, quick throws to give your quarterback some time. Once that gets established, you might have a space for a halfback draw in there. Looks like the quarterback play action and tries to run it himself, and he's taken down for another 2 or 3 yard loss.
And here we go again. You're going to hear this name a lot tonight. Fa Tui Tui Tele. Once again. No problems getting to the quarterback and sacking him.
Another tackle for loss, and now on their own 17-yard line. We'll see on the replay.
Yeah, just really no time.
Seems unclear to me. He play actioned a handoff going to his left, but then he ran to his left,
yeah,
which kind of defeats the point.
The only point you might do is that the runner would be an extra blocker in that case. That's the only argument you really have. Otherwise, you normally will hand off to the other side and then run to the other side as a form of deception.
Yeah, so interesting there. But Bears call the play, break the huddle with 14 seconds to go on the play clock. Jog line of scrimmage. They got 4 receivers and a running back.
But you got to give Otto credit. This is not his normal position.
No. Oh, yeah, definitely. And another free rusher. I was actually able to pass line of scrimmage, and we'll get to the 21-yard line to make his job for his punter a bit easier. But in the end, it's 4th and 12.
And Isaiah Ferry there was able to come around the edge and get a tackle. And Ferry is a 2-star recruit out of this senior class that already has an offer from the University of Hawaii.
Yeah, we see him break through, and that's on the right tackle there, just letting him come in unscathed. Otto, though, a good job of breaking free, getting some extra yards, and we'll see if the punt goes a bit better this time for the Bears. Once again, Isaiah Tufaga back to return alongside, what was that, number 11?
Yeah, looks to be.
Well, the punt's blocked again, and it'll be another touchdown for St. Louis, number 20.
Looks like Junior Wiley there with another block bunt catch and then a touchdown.
Yep, Makano Kalani Canyon came in there, caught it on the fly, and jogged into the end zone for a touchdown after Wiley broke through. It's now 19-0 Crusaders. We'll see on the Silent Insurance replay again. An unblocked Crusader comes right in, knocks the punt, and then Canyon.
We're not really sure. It could either be Canyon or Wiley because we have 2 number 20s there, but either way, touchdown, 6 points for St. Louis, and Tobias will try to tack on another one.
Low extra point, and it goes wide right, so it's no good. So Tobias having some troubles here with extra points in this game.
There is a lot of wind swirling here in Halava, and last week he didn't have a problem in Waianae, but there isn't going to be as much wind as there probably is here in Halava, which Halava is kind of just a vortex here when it comes to leeward Oahu here. But
yeah, you can hear it probably on our microphones every once in a while. But with 4:55 to go in the first quarter, as you see on your screen, the St. Louis Crusaders are leading the Baldwin Bears 19-0. One thing, I mean, again, in this game, Tobias's missed extra point shouldn't pose an issue, but that does raise an interesting, I mean, at least concern for Crusaders coach Cal Lee here as they get, later in the season having some close games and,
I mean, pretty much every game after here is going to be a very tough test for the St. Louis Crusaders as they're going to play on September 1st. The next game will be against Kamehameha, then they'll play Punahou, and then they'll play even on September 23rd a school from California. So this is a tough schedule for them. See if they can navigate it.
Yeah, so, I mean, a kicker having issues with extra points, a couple points can make a difference in those closer ball games. So that's something to keep an eye on. Tobias was the backup kicker, right, last year as they made their run, gained another state title. And we're seeing the backup kicker, again, Matthew Watkins, the left footer. Now he'll kick off from the 40. Tobias's kickoff fell short of the goal line.
Yeah, maybe this is a competition we didn't really think about, but we have a chance to test both these kickers in the game, which is not, frankly, close right now.
Watkins' first kickoff went into the end zone. This one, though, will be fielded at the 5, out near the 20, dragged down, however.
It looked like Nicholas Herbig was there on the stop for the Crusaders as he was able to basically ragdoll him down at about the 20-yard line.
And again, you can just see the size difference as it looks like it's number 2 or 3 had a bit of a limp there for Baldwin. And that's one of the big concerns whenever you're an outer island or a smaller school playing a place like St. Louis. It looks like it was number 2, Isaiah Tufaga, who's on the kick return. But it looked like he came up a bit limp there, is that you have these huge size differences. And, you know, football is a dangerous game as is with a lot of injuries built in.
And especially if you're Baldwin, you don't really want to come out of this game with any serious injuries. You still have more important games against Lahaina Luna, against your rival Maui High, on the Valley Isle at War Memorial Stadium. So you want to stay healthy for those games because winning the league is the next big step for the Bears, aside from a really stern test against Mission Viejo of California next week on the Valley Isle.
Yeah, back-to-back to start the season. A tough test for these Bears. Looks like Otto again under center in the I formation. 2 receivers split out wide. Looks like it's a handoff up the middle. It might get a yard or 2. We have a flag coming from way back. It looks like we might have a personal foul. We had some in exchange, shall we say, from Braden Ray Sojit of the Bears and Kai Kaneshiro.
But that was really the first time they were able to get right down the crease and be able to get a few positive yardage right down the St. Louis defensive line.
We'll see what this flag is.
It seems like all of St. Louis.
On the offense, number 35. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay it down.
Well, that hard work will come back.
Yeah.
And now Baldwin was dealing with first and long.
Correction, half the distance.
Yeah, so again, we talked about the positive yards, but those are coming right off the board here for Baldwin with the holding penalty. That'll send them back to their own 9-yard line, bring this to about 1st and 21. Never the situation you want to be in.
Especially if you're down 19-0 and haven't gotten a first down yet today.
So they'll break. It looks like the I formation again. 2 receivers split out wide. Malu Plunkett, near side receiver. A toss play out to the right. Cuts inside, and a big hit there delivered on Frank Gallios was the running back, number 23, who got the toss.
That was definitely a big hit by the Crusader defender, as it looked to be number 40 for the Crusader, Noah Purcell.
So we'll see. They had some issues going up the middle, tried the other way, but it led to
that's going to hurt.
A big hit. Got 3 or 4 yards, but still 2nd and 18.
Very hard-earned 3 or 4 yards, that's for sure.
And this is where it becomes tough if you're Coach Pohai Lee of the Bears. Are you going to punt on 4th down? I mean, you've had 2 tries. Both have been blocked and brought back for a touchdown. Are you just better just treating this like you're going to go for it on 4th down no matter where you are?
It's possible. I mean, it's not obviously not an enviable situation.
Looks like we'll have a delay of game here on the Bears, which will bring them back another 5 yards.
43. It's a 5-yard penalty. Down.
So 2nd and 23. This doesn't really get much better for the Bears. They'll be brought back to their own 7-yard line. And again, when we're talking about the punt field position, I mean, 2 punt attempts have been blocked and brought back for touchdowns. 2nd and 23, you're thinking the first down isn't the most likely scenario here. If I'm Bears coach Pohai Lee, I might be thinking about we're just not going to punt.
It's a possibility. You might also get more reps in offense, or you can look at a way of more reps of getting the punter to be able to get a quicker snap and get the ball out quicker.
So blitz coming up from the top side, but the running back picks it up. A throw deep, but no Baldwin receiver is there, and it is picked off by Junior Wiley, the guy who probably had the block, whereas a flag, so probably a block in the back. That he returns it to the 10-yard line. However, it looks like there's a flag that's going to bring it back a bit, but the interception will stand after going backwards. Well, that kind of worked as their punt that time.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a very far throw, but it was a very floated, easy. It was an easy read for Junior Wiley to go up and make that catch and probably be brought back. But this will give Chevron Cordero on the offense, if he even comes back out, a little bit more reps.
After the interception, personal foul. Number 2 on the defense, blindside block. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down, St. Louis.
We just had a personal foul there, so that's going to bring back most of the return, if not more. As we see on the story, he's looking down the seam, but instead of throwing towards the left hash mark, it fades on him way right, kind of like my golf swing. And picked off by Wiley, brought back the other way. Wiley filling out the stat sheet already, the recovered fumble, or the recovered, I guess, block for a touchdown. And the interception there, again, you'll see the personal foul brings it back to the 45-yard line. So the Crusaders will need to move a bit downfield. Remember, with Tobias' issues with extra points, the field goal might not be as easy as you normally assume it is for a team like the St. Louis.
But this is good for St. Louis, their offense, in order to get a little more yardage so they can work on the field. The last 2 scores, they haven't been on the field at all.
So trips receivers to the right. Looks like Cordero's still in. Throws to his right. And it is simply dropped there by number 80. He's been quite active, Kalian Bruin, but that time just a straight up block.
Yeah, it seems like on this play, Cordero rode out, good throw on the flat, but just didn't get to his right. The receiver was looking ahead, didn't catch the ball.
Yeah, got to keep your eyes on the ball there. 2nd and 10 from their own 45. Same formation, trips right, running back beside Cordero. 3 down linemen for the Bears. It looks like a linebacker's going to be sent into halfback draw straight up the middle, number 24, Kainalu Novap, and he gets 9.5 yards. They're going to move the chains there.
It looks like, or they won't. It will still be 3rd and 1, but Tumpap was able to get a nice hole up the middle. His offensive lineman doing a great job. His center getting that defensive lineman out of the way, right up the middle, almost first down.
And the Crusaders are probably going to be able to do this all day as much as they want to. It looks like about half a yard's needed for the first down. Now 2 receivers split out both sides of Cordero. Running back on his left. They hand it off again. Breaks the tackle in the backfield, falls down, and is brought down by number 8, Damian DeFrancia, 5'8", 160-pound senior for the Bears, but that will move the chains as we look on the Bank of Hawaii replay here.
Tumpap was almost brought down initially by Malachi Semmel, but he wasn't able to finish tackle, and then once Tumpap got past that tackle, well, he was out in green space for a first down.
Yeah, and so now it'll be a 1st and 10 in Bear territory at the 28 for St. Louis. While they're winning 19-0, this is only their 2nd offensive possession. Play action, rolls to his right. Cordero looking, throws a bit high, but a nice stretched catch by number 23, Koali Nishigaya, who's brought down at about the 20-yard line.
And Nishigaya there able to get Cordero. One thing I've been impressed with Cordero so far is he releases the ball extremely quick. And it helps when you have a lot of time in the pocket, but he's getting rid of the ball really quick. The receivers are finding open spots, as we see here. Really quick release, able to get it right to Nishigaya, and already a first down.
Yeah, so they gave him a pretty favorable mark there to the 18. That'll be 1st and 10 now. Trips receivers to his left. Looks like a handoff up the middle, and it is once again pounding down to the 10-yard line. Excuse me, and Kainalo Tumpap again getting inside. Again, I mean, we'll look on the replay again. Look at the hole untouched inside, and that's where it comes down to the line advantage for the Crusaders.
St. Louis is doing a great job opening up these holes in the defensive line. It's obviously something they worked on, and this will be something you need because you want to have a little bit of balance, especially when you don't have Tua anymore, so you want a little bit more balance on this offense.
And another handoff up the middle. He's hit a bit sooner, but that will be the first down, and it'll be a 1st and goal at the 4-yard line for the Crusaders.
I think if you're Cal Lee in this game, I think we already know that they'll probably have this game in hand as we see the handoff right away, straight up the middle, able to get the first down. But one thing I think you're looking at is you're viewing it almost as a controlled scrimmage in a sense that you're going to look to see improvement from your running game. So like we see on this series, they're running a lot. So they want to obviously improve their running game while they're at it in this game. Yeah, Cordero, one thing I haven't, the coaches have done a good job of getting him out of the pocket, giving him more time than he already has, but his throws have missed a bit high, and Dubab this time is met at the line of scrimmage by Aloali'i Laga. And that's finally something good for Longa there for the Baldwin Bears as though they're able to get a stop. And this is what you're Baldwin, you want to try to make a stand here, try to get some momentum on your side, try to get some confidence back, and get to the next offensive possession. Look at the Midas Hawaii replay here. Laga meets him at the line of scrimmage. So that means we do have a 54 now on our roster. We had some number confusion earlier with our rosters. In the shotgun, Cordero again. Play action, looking left, but good coverage, but no pressure, and he might be able to run into the end zone. He gives it a shot, and he does. Kind of just spin moves his way into the end zone there, and all of a sudden he's walking into the end zone. All right, we're going to take a break here at the end of the first quarter. 25-0, the St. Louis Crusaders here. We'll still have the extra point here, and then we'll probably go to a break. Look at the replay here. Cordero looks left pretty quick, but coverage is good there, so he finds the hole and just able to work his way into the end zone there. So now, and this might be a bit of a development for St. Louis fans, Matthew Watkins, the lefty, out to kick the extra point. Obviously, Cal Lee wants to give some reps to some other kickers, and we'll see what he does here. And that's up and good, so he might have an upper hand now looking at this competition to possibly just open up. So now, at the end of one, the St. Louis Crusaders 26, Baldwin Bears 0. We'll be right back here on Aloha Stadium Stars. They didn't cut because the extra point was an extra point. points to consider part of the first quarter. No clock. Huh?
Welcome back to Hawaiian Tel Federal Credit Union Field at Aloha Stadium. And Crusaders getting ready to kick off again at the end of the first quarter, 26-0, the Crusaders lead. Mike, what did you see? What adjustments can the Bears make?
It's hard. It's just a talent difference and a size difference and a numbers difference, too. Like, Baldwin's going to get more tired as this game goes on. We're in the hot sun here in Halava. It's not an easy game for them. But, you know, give them credit for coming out here to Oahu. They're going to give it their all. And then just, I hope they're satisfied with whatever effort they put on the table here today.
Akili Madrid with the return got about to the 18, 17-yard line. That is where his Bears offense will get started. They have yet to record a first down, and they've 2 3-and-outs that have been punts blocked that were returned to the end zone, and the other was an interception that was brought back to the 10-yard line, pulled back, but led to a touchdown. St. Louis has had the ball twice. They've scored 2 touchdowns. If you're confused, because that means they should only have 14 points, well, 2 punt block for touchdowns will do that for you. We've had 2 missed extra points as well, and there might be a bit of a kicker competition brewing as Jacob Tobias, the presumed starter, missed a couple extra points. So we saw Matthew Watkins.
Yeah, really, if there's a story to this game so far, it's special teams on St. Louis, both
That's
good
true.
and the not as good. But so early in the season, good time to figure this out. Callie, I'm sure he's relishing the opportunity to get a football team on the field and just seeing how he can do it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And this is also Baldwin's first game, too, while St. Louis also already has a game against a quality opponent under its belt.
That's true, making the disadvantage for Baldwin even greater.
Doesn't also help that you have to hop on that plane, come here in unfamiliar situations, not used to playing on turf.
So the handoff goes inside.
Yeah, just looking around the state so far, some interesting score lines from today. Already, Hilo beating Iolani, 62-35. What a score. Hilo, a D1 school. Iolani, a D2 school, but a team that ran up, as we see on the replay here, the run that got stuffed by the Crusaders. But Iolani, a D2 school who last year was in the final of the middle division or the Division I tournament, they got really smacked by Hilo. And that's surprising to me.
Mm-hmm. And another huge blowout. St. Francis goes 42-0 on Kauai. Was that in Kauai or was that on
This
Oahu?
was at Punahou today,
Okay.
but it's still an interesting result. St. Francis looked pretty impressive. You saw last week they almost beat Leilehua, a pretty big OIA school, and then they come out and then they just demolish a Kauai school who will be in their division as they're both Division I this year. So St. Francis, man, and Damien also be an interesting battle for that Division I ILH title.
As the Bears break a power I formation, they throw deep, and great defense there by the Braden Ray Sojit, who knocked it out of Kai Kaneshira's hands. Again, that could have been another interception. I mean, a good idea for the Bears, try and get something deep downfield. It's incomplete, though.
Yeah, at this point, what do you really have to lose if you're Bo Hiley? You might also call these shots, give your spread offense a little bit of look, but Kai Kaneshiro, as we see here, was able to track that ball, almost had it, but great defense again by Reyes Soho for the Bears. But Kai Kaneshiro will be heading to Manoa next year to play for Nick Rolovich and the Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, that's one of the things for a receiver. You got to be looking to catch the ball, but then there's moments like on that pass right there from Otto, which wasn't close enough to the sideline. You got to be a defender, and you got to make sure they don't pick that one off.
It's also impressive, too, to me, that Reyes Soto, a guy that's 5'5", 130, was able to go and get the deflection on Kai Kaneshiro.
A bad snap over the head of Otto, and he's trying to just run for as many yards as he can. He'll be brought down at the 6.5-yard line. Looks like they might spot him closer to the 8. Nope, yep, brought back to about the 6, and that will mean a long 4th down and a punt.
Obviously not an ideal situation for Baldwin. Here is a miscommunication on the snap.
Way over his head.
Odo was going back just to try to get something there, but wasn't able to work it out. But going back to that previous deep throw, Kai Kanashiro's a guy that's 6'0".
Yeah.
And you have a guy 5'5". Great job by Reyes Soho to able to get that deflection. If there's a bright spot for Baldwin so far, it's that.
Yeah, and now Bishop Wicks will look to get the punt away. St. Louis not really bringing any rush, and Wicks, though, going into the wind. His punt is fielded at the 31-yard line. Isaiah Tufaga brings it back inside. A flag's thrown. He's now running backwards. A lot of this is going to come back. So everyone's running for nothing at this point.
It looks like there for the Bears, Jack Raven, Mamizuka, and Jaden Del Castillo gang tackled there to get Tufanga down.
We got 2 flags on the play. And so we'll see. There might be some conflicting things going on. Might be some 2 opposite sides of the field, around the 10 on the far side and the 20 on the near side. So probably 2 different penalties. We'll see if they're on one on each team. That would offset this, and that'd mean re-punt. Listen in.
Personal foul. Blindside block. On the defense, it's a 15-yard penalty. After the play, personal foul. On the defense, number 3, unnecessary roughness. Both penalties will be enforced.
If I heard that correctly, that was 2 personal fouls, 1 during.
Well, that was what there was 1 holding and then another personal foul, but still, this will back up the ball a little bit.
So we'll see on the replay here. Punt gets up, going into the wind. Wicks got good hang time, just not a lot of distance on it. But you can see the hold actually right there on bottom of your swing, and then the personal foul comes.
And right now they're assessing both penalties, and this will back them back into St. Louis territory.
Yep, so just to explain it to you, it basically ends up being a 25-yard penalty because the hold occurred at the 35. Or where were we lining that up? So that's 15 yards. Yeah, so the hold occurred around the 28, bringing it to the 38. And then after the play, a 15-yard personal foul brings it back another 15 yards. And so now the Crusaders will start on their own 48. Handoff up the middle.
And Cordero is still in the ballgame.
Cordero's still out there, although it does not look like it was the starting running back for the Crusaders. It looked like that was number 13, Tamarick Halams.
Yeah, it looks like senior getting some action here.
Bank of White replay right here. You'll see single back, powered up the middle. Only got a couple yards. Good job by the Bears linebackers to crash the play. Cordero wants the snap. He just gets it. Play action, quick out to the left. Caught by number 22, Chance Bayer. And he's out to the 40, the 30, the 20. He will spin inside and be brought down.
And finally, Christian Reinhardt for the Bears was able to get the tackle there.
At the 14-yard line.
But was able to tightrope his way down the left sideline, and he got way more than the first down.
Great play there. We'll see on the Midas Hawaii replay. Play action brings the defense to the right, looks quickly to the left. Blockers lined up.
This is trademark Ode run and shoot. Get these quick slants out to the outside and just try to get the ball.
Again, it looks like a no huddle here. Quickly in, 2 receivers on each side. Press coverage on the backside. We saw how this went last time, but a hand up the middle and a swarm in there. Good recovery by Ian Collier, the linebacker and tight end, getting in there quickly and bringing out. That's the first tackle for a loss I believe we've seen for the Bears.
And a good one in that. He was able to get right through the offensive line, and boom, he was able to get right to the running back in that case. And Tamarick Halams is right there. Collier just came right through the